Hi Taurus, welcome to your end of August 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Serena here. So, I'm noticing my cards starting to have, like, maybe it's just a hermit card, but a couple of them, it's like not peeling, I don't know what you'd call it, yeah, around the edges. Yeah, it looks like it. I remember there was this one reader, and she was like from England. She seemed like such an eccentric old lady, you know. I don't think, you know, she stopped doing readings. But she had the deck of tarot cards, and they were like just the Rider-Waite deck. And they were just so, like, well-worn. But it was almost like this veteran, you know, tarot reader. So, I don't know how long I've had this deck, but probably at least 5 years, I'm thinking. The heart of the matter is the Five of Wands. I always tend to see the more challenging side of this card, because I always think of conflict with this card, and not necessarily two people, maybe more than two people are involved in this conflict. And, you know, there are other things that this card can represent other than that, but looking at it from the perspective of conflict, there can be, you know how they say too many cooks spoil the brew, or whatever you say, or the let me talk about the past position. From the past position, we have the Four of Wands, and this is a card of the happy home, maybe like a new home that you've bought. So let's say you've bought a new home, and it's a bigger home, and now you have family that's like, hey, you know, now I can come over. They're inviting themselves or friends, and you're the one with the nice big backyard that people want to hang out in, and that's causing conflicts within yourself and your spouse and with these people, because you may be all having your own goals. You know, wands can relate to ambitions, and, you know, with fire energy, that's like clashing egos. Same thing with in-laws. You get married, and you don't just marry a person, you marry their family. And when I talk about marriage, I mean, if you're not legally married, it's the same thing. You're moving in with someone, and their family becomes your problem sometimes. I mean, seriously, not to make light of it, but it is true. And so, for some reason, or just friends and the competing desires or the ambitions of work, maybe you're competitive with your spouse, or they are with you, that they feel like inferior to you, or you feel inferior to them, and there's this competitive spirit. I would say that it's probably, unless you have inner planets in Aries, Taurus, that it's probably them that are competing with you, but you never know. The higher message is the Hermit, and this is about remembering the spiritual and also honoring solitude. Because, again, like, I mean, if there are a lot of people in your life, whether it's family and or friends, and you're just, like, always dealing with these outer forces, you're not able to tune into what your needs are. And it's much easier to get off track when you do something like that. So you have to always be careful about who you're allowing to run the show. Are you, and especially if this is your environment, you get to call the shots. if this is your relationship, you get to call the shots. If your partner is a weenie and they're not standing up to their family or they're not standing up to their friends, then you have a bigger problem on your hands. And that's having a partner that might be quite weak. Nobody can do to them what they don't allow them to do. So they can't play the victim that their parents are very pushy and controlling. If they're an adult, they have to put their foot down, and that's just the bottom line. What crosses you is the Seven of Wands, and you may be tiring of feeling a sense of being the one who's under siege. And again, it's important not to take these things personally, because a lot of times this is going to be something that is done in order to create the kind of outcome that these other people are looking for. And it's by any means necessary. And usually, any means necessary means that they're going to try to work on, lessening the confidence of the person that they're dealing with. So that's one of the reasons why you have to know who you are. And you have to, once you know who you are and somebody says something to you, like I think of the Seven of Wands as receiving incessant criticism. And if you know who you are and somebody says something to you and you have to be honest with yourself and you know that they're correct about that and maybe it's one of the things that you need to work on, then having the humility to admit it is awesome. Because unless that person is coming from a bad place, but if that person isn't trying to make you feel insecure, then owning up to something that you need to change is really a great thing to do. And it will make you look like a bigger person than if you are to, if you're going to just get like really upset about it. Because the Seven of Wands in this, the way this context, it could be being defensive, like always trying to defend yourself, even if you're not the one being insulted. But in this case, I do feel that someone is actively trying to rile you up, and you have to see it for what it is. I mean, that's the bottom line, is you can't let somebody get under your skin. But the reason I brought up the other scenario is because sometimes people are saying things that are not meant to rile you up or get under your skin. They really do want to have a relationship with you, but there might be some behavior that you're doing that they feel is making it very hard for them to have a relationship. A Taurus person, I'm just going to say in general, I don't think of Taurus as a sign that is trying to instigate things, but because you're very stubborn, but and that can mean that you have a hard time seeing the other person's point of view, and you might just kind of dig in your heels if you feel like somebody's trying to change you, but that is not typically malicious. You just are like that, like you don't like somebody trying to force you to change who you are. If you're going to change, you're going to change on your own terms, but that could take a while because you're very steadfast in whatever you do. What's coming in is the King of Swords. And so, like I said, you're going to have to be totally dispassionate, totally detached from a particular situation that is very heated, very conflict oriented, in order to know exactly what your next move is. And this takes a lot of emotional discipline, because it may be something where it's not just one person who is doing this, and you're like, how am I going to tackle this issue? And if you have a partner involved, if this is involved with you and another person, you may feel like it's you against the world in a way, and you have to still be able to do your thing. Oh, you know what I was thinking of too, is that this could be like a will. So for instance, if the Five of Wands is that there are people fighting over a will or a house. Four of Wands, that you know, this might be a property that is in the family, and the King of Swords can even be like a judge or someone who has to be dispassionate and can't take sides and things like that. But definitely you have to stay above the fray, because other people may, that's why I said the Seven of Wands. They may know what your weak points are, what your Achilles heel is, Achilles heel, and they might try to trigger you, because if you go off, then they can say, see, she's, you know, so unhinged, or he is so like insecure that he can't even handle it, when they're deliberately trying to trigger you. So realizing that and not taking the bait is so important. The outcome is the Four of Pentacles. This is really a great card for if that scenario that I mentioned. This is a fight over money where you are going to hold on to it. This can also be like, I would say in any kind of conflict, that you maintain your control over the situation. Number 4 is connected to Saturn, and that is a very controlled type of energy or influence. So it's all about keeping yourself together, not being reactive, letting, you know, letting them fight it out, and you staying above the fray, and you will emerge the victor. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.